Hi guys, hope you're doing well today.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us. You can look in the background, probably see what this story's going to be about. It just hit me about the time she hit live that I want to make a comment. Guys, we don't care if this is London PD or Somerset PD, Lexington PD, Louisville. It don't matter. It's not about the department. You know, we met a bunch of these guys on the day that Sheila and I went up there to pick up our reward check from the mayor.
Yeah.
The mayor was extra nice. All of the first responders, the police department, the fire, the ambulance, everybody that was there was extra nice to us and greeted us and made us feel welcome. This is nothing personal against nobody. This is just covering a story, no matter what department it would be or anything else. And sometimes you just have to let the chips fall where they may. And I'm sure that's what the majority of the people want is just the truth and what happened. And so let's get started here. This story is about a newspaper article that just came out January the 3rd, 2025. I don't know what today is. Today's the 7th. So this come out on 4 days ago.
Okay.
It's not anything new. We just found it. And so it's new to us. We did find some things in it that we, especially me, had questions about. Kentucky State Police search warrants sheds light on Laurel County fatal police shooting.
Yeah.
And it's from the Lexington Herald Leader. And it says the Kentucky State Police collected many pieces of evidence that could lead to greater understanding of what happened the night police shot and killed a 63-year-old man at his Laurel County home, according to official records.
Right.
Hang with us, because it gets interesting, don't it, babe?
Oh, yeah.
The KSP is investigating the December 23rd fatal police shooting of Douglas Harless by a London Police Department officer. Officers were attempting to execute a search warrant in an investigation of stolen lawn equipment in Lilly, an unincorporated area of Laurel County. However, records indicate they intended to search a different home about 250 feet away. However, records indicate they intended to search. Now, see, they may be talking about audio records where they were hollering on the radio that night, 489 Van Zandt. As of this date, Sheila and I have not seen or heard of anybody actually getting the search warrant affidavit or the copy of the search warrant for that December night.
Right.
So, however, records indicate they intended to search a different home. We know they hollered several times on the radio, 489, when they were actually at 511.
In the
corner of that house over there behind Sheila.
This way.
The address, yeah.
Or that way.
And that's 511 behind us.
Yeah.
In that search warrant affidavit, we need to know, does it say 5 Van Zandt or does it say 489, which is on the opposite side of the road, a single wide trailer just down from here. But this story says, according to records, they indicate they intended to search the home 250 feet away, which would be 489. I know they say 489 on the radio, but where does it stipulate which address they were supposed to search and a description? That'd be on the search warrant affidavit.
Right.
KSP Detective James Royal executed a search warrant on December the 24th, according to a copy reviewed by the Herald Leader. During the search, Royal obtained 5 spent .223 shell casings. That's a rifle.
Really?
Yeah, that's a rifle casing. That's not a 9mm, a 40 cal, a 357. It's nothing. That .223 is a rifle casing.
Wonder where he found that
People
at.
deer hunt with .223s. Before I go on any further, understand that where it says there, KSP Detective James Royal executed a search warrant on December the 24th. This is another search warrant. This is totally, and a lot of people are getting confused, and they're thinking when they're going over this search warrant that they're going over the search warrant that the officer actually had.
Okay.
That was good for the 23rd, and that's not so. This is a separate search warrant in and of itself that the state police obtained in order to investigate the shooting itself. We still haven't seen the original search warrant.
Right.
So it says that they obtained 5 spent .223 shell casings, a Taurus
Taurus.
9mm handgun, and a handgun holster, a projectile. That's probably a missed round that's in a wall or a lamp or a pillow or couch or whatever. I'm speculating, but
Okay.
we're YouTubers, so we're allowed to do that. But I do want to tell you I'm speculating. But where it says a projectile, with the search warrant, I would assume that it's something that's in the wall or in the house there.
Okay.
I see you thinking over it. Now, what's your question?
Well, the projectile, he didn't say it was spent, so it means it
No, the projectile would have been spent.
Okay.
That would have been, otherwise it would have said a bullet.
Oh,
The
gotcha.
projectile is
Yeah.
what comes out of the bullet.
Okay,
and
good
that
deal.
would be either I'm assuming that it's in a wall or something, because anything that the coroner takes out of the body, there'll also be projectiles, bullets that come out of the body
Hmm.
on autopsy. But he wouldn't need a search warrant. That's part of the evidence the coroner's going to have when he does the autopsy. So I think this projectile was probably found somewhere in the residence, probably a missed round or
Okay.
I hate to say it, but a 223 at close range, it's probably a round, I'm assuming, that's probably went completely through,
Oof.
penetrated and went completely through
Mm.
Mr. Harless and out the other side.
Mm.
So it could still be in a pillow, a wall or something. They dug it out, but it could have passed through.
Okay.
Says here that on that search warrant also was a light bulb security camera and a cell phone. Me and Sheila both coming down with the flu, guys.
Yeah.
Babe.
Sorry if I start coughing.
All right. Royal also received additional permission to search a memory card, a Nokia. Thank you, babe. Nokia cell phone that belonged to Harless, and area photos from a drone of the Van Zandt Road property. I don't think you need a search warrant to run a drone outside to overlook the property, but it's listed on there. I could be wrong, just me. Royal wrote in the search warrant that the light bulb, camera, and cell phone could show the interactions between Harless and the officers on scene the night of the shooting. Well, that's going to be interesting, guys. Don't worry about coughing, baby.
Yeah.
If you have to cough, you cough. They don't mind.
No, it sounds like a dog barking.
We're human. People have things that ails them, so don't worry about that. Be ourselves.
It says the shooting happened on December 23rd at 511 Van Zandt Road.
Yeah, but let's back up one. Burrell wrote in the search warrant that the light bulb camera on the
Okay.
cell phone could show the interactions between Harless and the officers on scene the night of the shooting. That's interesting because if the light bulb is screwed into the front porch, I see the front porch light back here. What I'm assuming is the front porch light. And if that's where the camera's at, then more than likely it's pointed towards the front door. Then Mr. Harless would have had to have been out on his porch at this time. Now, I heard the newscast the other day, Sheila and I did, because as soon as we heard it,
Yeah.
we said, wow, it's the first time we've heard that he was shot on the porch.
Yeah.
Because everything else says that he was shot inside of his house after they penetrated, made entry into the door.
Mm-hmm.
So we assume that he's in his house. The newscast, they just put a correction out. The news channel did that run that story the other day, and they said we had no evidence that he was on the porch, and the state police said that he was not on the porch. So if he's not on the porch, I don't know what they mean by this, the interaction between Harless and the officers. It may show the interaction of the officers with Mr. Harless. They may be talking to him or looking at him or inside, but I don't think that camera's going to show the interaction between the two of them unless he's on the porch. They've done a correction and said he was not on the porch. We'll go with that. And like Sheila just read here, the shooting occurred December the 23rd at 511 Van Zant. London police previously said that the officer opened fire on Harless after he pointed a gun at police who were serving the warrant. You guys, I got some questions there, and that's just from me and Sheila and she can speak for herself. But my question would be, this man had no criminal record. This man had,
everybody liked him.
Everybody liked him. Well, he's just a good old guy, it sounded like.
Right.
We couldn't find anybody, even when we were up there, had anything that knew him, that had anything bad to say about him.
Exactly.
Number one thing, it tells me, there's an old saying in police work, a person's past will often predict their future. If a person's got a past of a criminal history, then if he does something later on in life, you say, well, that's his past is relevant. He's done it before. He's not a virgin. It's happened before. This man didn't have a past. Right. He had no criminal history. He had no assaults. He had no.
Yep.
And I know people and they want to help people and they want to cover for people and they want to nobody to go to jail or be charged. But this is an innocent man. If they were at the wrong house, which it seems like they was, this man's innocent. We don't have to make him. Let's tell the truth in what we find. Now, says that he pointed his gun. Sorry about that. Shooting happened. Harless, after he pointed a gun at police who were serving the warrant. In my thinking, Sheila's here. She'll disagree with me if she don't agree.
Okay.
Would you really think, I know we've only got a minute. We're going to discuss that in another video. We've got another video coming up that you'll definitely want to watch here after we do this short one. Well, shucks, we were shooting for 8 minutes. We're already at 12.
Whoops.
Yeah, but make sure you watch the next video and you'll see why. But are we to believe that even though he's only had a few seconds to face reality and somebody's in his house and they're yelling and hollering and he comes around the corner, he sees somebody with a gun. Did he see badges? Did he see, we need to see what kind of uniform these guys was in. Did they have ninja mask on? Were they blacked out? Or could you see badges? Could you see? Because when you have a bunch of people hollering and talking, I know, and I'm not covering for nobody and I'm not wanting to label nobody, but did he actually understand police? Did that register in his mind?
Well, with him being startled,
I was hoping
he was awakened by, the beating and stuff. And you come through there and you're still kind of disoriented because you just woke up from a dead sleep. So it's kind of hard to focus. So probably all he saw was a silhouette of somebody there and didn't realize it.
So he very well could have pointed this gun if he had a gun with him. He could have also, him being the law-abiding citizen that he was, are we to believe that if he saw them and recognized them as law enforcement and knew that's what it was, that he would really point a gun at a police officer?
Exactly.
I don't see that. Most law-abiding citizens don't do that once they know who you are and and that's where a camera, and we're going to get to that later on, but a camera, at least in that instance, okay, we quit using body cameras. They was too expensive. Okay, we're going on a raid in the middle of the night. Could something happen here? Of course it could. Something can happen to a police officer on the most minute, simplest things that you would think. You might get ready for this big raid and you say, oh, get ready. You go there and nothing happens. Everybody throws their hands up, gets on the floor. But you can go on something as simple as a theft of a weed eater.
Yep.
And you've got an innocent man dead.
Yep.
That's how it can. So would it not have been, even if we didn't have the money to, everybody has their body cams now. But shouldn't somebody had one camera? Wouldn't it have been nice for one camera to be there?
Mm-hmm.
And backing up, I still haven't heard if there was any other agencies. Was there any state police officers, even one, accompanying the London PD that night? Because if there was, this is not
Then
an
how can
independent.
they how can they investigate it if they were
Well,
alone?
this is not an independent investigation. If they were a state trooper there, that very well may not have been. We've still not
Right,
heard
right.
yes or no to that question. Is the only people that was there London PD,
Uh-huh.
or was there other agencies assisting?
Involved. Yeah.
That would be good to know.
That's a good question.
I'm sure a good lawyer is going to find out, but it would be nice to let the general public know. Official records say the light was connected to the porch. Rural also recovered a 9mm handgun, a handgun holster, and 5 spent .223 shell casings.
Okay,
So there
there's
were
your
5
casing.
rounds. You can hear it on the video.
Yeah.
5 rounds.
Yeah.
They recovered 5 casings, according to official records. Go ahead, babe.
It says a handgun was found in close proximity to a Harless after the shooting. Okay, this would be easy to prove to me if they found that handgun there. Run the serial number on it and see what it comes back to.
Well, that's good, but it'd also been easy to prove had there been a camera there, wouldn't it?
Right.
Instead of taking somebody's word. And I'm not doubting them, but I'm talking for these people that writes at the bottom of these comments.
Yeah.
Or messages us or text us.
Yeah.
The comments that we're getting.
Yeah.
Why didn't you ask this? Why didn't you ask that? Why are you favoring the police? We're not.
We're trying to stay equal.
Favor nobody. We're going where the evidence goes. And
That's right.
but better yet, and Sheila's right, of course, and hopefully they'll run and see whose gun that is.
Mm-hmm. See what it was registered to.
Some people says it took 3 days to say that he had a gun. We know. We know what people assumes. We know what people text us.
Mm-hmm.
They find a gun in another room and go get it and bring it in there and say, hey, look here, he had a gun. We don't know because there's no
cameras.
And Mr. Harless isn't talking.
Yeah.
Mr. Harless isn't giving his side of the story.
Mm-hmm.
So we're only getting one side. So we have to question. We have to look at it.
Again, didn't we hear, was it the daughter or somebody said that he didn't even own a weapon or anything like that?
Mm-hmm.
That her mama bought him one and that he gave it back.
Yeah.
So again, where does that come into play?
That's the story. Whose gun is this? Where did it come from? When did he buy it?
Exactly.
From? Good question, babe. Good comment.
Thanks.
Royal, this is the KSP guy.
Mm-hmm.
Also obtained a memory card and surveillance footage from a nearby home that captured the event leading up to the shooting. Watch the next video, guys. This is going to become
interesting.
Very interesting because Sheila and I have been doing some research on some stuff.
Yeah.
I think you're going to find it interesting. Official records say the owners of the footage allowed the KSP detectives to review the footage and take it as evidence.
Yep.
What does KSP warrant say? What happened? Again, don't get confused. What does KSP's warrant say? What happened? This is the KSP warrant. This is not the actual PD warrant. The warrant that said that they could be where they were going to go. If it was 511,
right?
That's 511 behind us. Down the road is 489.
Right.
KSP was called to investigate the shooting in a procedure when law enforcement officers are involved. Officials say records went to the scene. Royal went to the scene. KSP was called to investigate the shooting, as is procedure when law enforcement officers are involved. Guys, the last class I was ever in at the Department of Criminal Justice training in 2018, it was a chief's class, police chiefs and sheriffs. It was administrative or executives. Law enforcement executives class. You had to be a police chief, assistant chief, or a sheriff, high-ranking member to be in this class. That's what it was. It was for executives, police executives. And I think his name was, I think he was in charge, the commissioner of state police at the time, Rick or Randy Sanders. I think it was Rick Sanders. And he stood up in this class in 2018. I remember it. We had a whole classroom of officers. And he said, guys, the state police is starting a new unit. It's going to be First Response or something was the name of the unit, but it's going to investigate high visible media attention getting crimes or officer involved shootings.
Mhm.
And they had a name for it. And he said, if any of you guys, it's not mandatory, but any of the sheriffs and police chiefs out here that want to, if you have an officer involved shooting, if you want to call us, the state police will investigate it, and it will take a lot of the strain away from the individual agency. Instead of investigating yourself, you will have another agency to look at it.
Uh-huh.
And I think 2018, if you do the research, I think that's when this unit was probably evolved, where police departments and sheriff's departments could now call the state police to have them to come and look at their case.
Mhm.
There were some other things, I'm not going to go into it, but other comments that were made there at that time. But it doesn't
That's good.
pertain to this right now, so
There
we'll just
you
let
go.
that go. But anybody that was ever in that class in 2018,
We'll know what you're
recall
saying.
that. There's probably 60 to 100 officers.
Mhm.
Police lieutenant. Official records say Royal went to the scene and was caught up on what happened when London Police Lieutenant Andrew Jackson told Royal officers were investigating a report of stolen lawn and garden equipment, and the investigation led them to Van Zant Road. Officers intended to serve a search warrant and announce themselves as law enforcement officers after knocking on Harless's door around 11:48 p.m. The warrant says, guys, please, if you want to know more about this, watch the next
The
video
second
we've
one.
got coming out later on this evening or early in the morning or late at night, whenever we get it done.
Right.
I think that's going to, you may have some relevance here.
Right.
Law enforcement officers after knocking on Harless's door around 11:48 p.m., the warrant says. Harless acknowledged police presence. I'm going to comment on that right there, even though it's going to be in the next video, because I want you to understand what I'm talking about. Guys, the video's out there. Go to one of the news channels, go to one of Sheila's channels and watch the video. Up in the top left-hand corner of that video, you're going to see where it says 12:23:24, and then you're going to see the time, 11:50. 11:50:25 is when the officers knocked, beat, whatever you want to call it, and announced, police. That's what we're looking at. Now, Sheila and I have looked at this camera, this video 100 times.
Yeah.
Now, we don't have the technology the state police has got and all these other, and we could be wrong. You guys look at it. Get your camera out, put it on stopwatch, and when you hear them at 11:50:25,
that's 25 seconds,
25 seconds, please start your watch.
Mm-hmm.
Or whenever you hear them. Don't pay no attention 11:50:25. That's what we're getting.
Right. See if you come up with something different.
You get your stopwatch ready. When you hear them first knock, start your clock. When you hear the first shot, stop your clock. And that should be at 11:51:34. 11:51:34. Bang, 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 bang. But that first one is bang, 11:51:34.
Right.
That's the first shot. 1 minute and 9 seconds after. 1 minute and 9 seconds. Next time you're in a dead sleep and you hear the garbage truck or you hear something, a dog, whatever, and you wake up,
jump up,
see how long it takes you to register and see what's going on, especially if you hear a bunch of voices hollering, screaming, and beating.
Yeah.
See how long it takes you to
focus.
I don't know. I'm not making excuses, but it says here that the search warrant that the state police has, it says on their search warrant, it's called, what they call it? What does the KSP warrant say happened? That's the subtitle of this here.
Right.
So they're saying they got this information from the state police search warrant. And it says that knocking on Harless's door around 11:48 p.m., the warrant says. Now, around, I guess they could say around, it could have been 11:46, or it could have been 11:50. 11:50 is 2 minutes later. 2 minutes
Yeah.
later.
Mm-hmm.
2 minutes plus another minute, that's 3 minutes. That's plenty of time for a person to get up and register what's going on, where am I at, and what in the world's happening. But when you say around 11:48, people's in their mind, they're thinking, oh, he had 3 minutes to see what was going on. What that warrant says there, or that newspaper article, and what we look at on a videotape is totally different.
Two different things.
Sheila and I. It really is.
Yep.
11:51, the first shot went off. A minute and 9 seconds later. A minute and 9 seconds. Police, open door. And boom. Here we go. Boom, 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 boom. Pretty fast. Harless acknowledged police's presence, but refused to answer the door. How? We don't know. We wasn't there. Hopefully that camera that he's got on his porch has got sound. Mm-hmm. Did he holler and say, who is it? What's going on? What did he holler? Because they eventually made entry. They either kicked or used the device. They opened that door because they're saying here that he refused to answer the door. You know, Sheila and I talked the other night. What do you do if somebody knocks on your door at 12 o'clock at night, at 3 o'clock in the morning? What do you do? You don't do nothing. You don't do nothing. You back up and find yourself against a wall where you've got cover, concealment, and you wait and see if they go away or if the next thing that happens is somebody's going to kick your door down, because burglars do that. They'll knock.
To see if anybody's home.
Yeah, see if you're home, see if you're going to answer. If you answer the door, they've made easy access. But if you don't, nobody answers. They think nobody's home. Kick it in. And then when they make entry, then you can defend yourself.
Right.
But you don't do nothing, which seems like what they're saying here, Mr. Harless. He refused to answer the door. Royal, the detective, wrote. Officers continued to knock. No answer. Did they? How long did they knock for? Because we've got a minute and 9 seconds here from the first knock that we can hear on tape till the first shot. They continued to knock. To him, getting out of bed for 1 minute could be perceived as somebody's breaking in my house. I don't know. Officers continued to knock, to no answer, and eventually decided to make entry into the home. He wrote in the sworn affidavit. Sworn affidavit. They eventually decided to make entry. How do you make entry? How did they make entry into this man's home? They didn't have a key. They either kicked that little door open, which is no problem.
Yeah.
If you kick right there at that door handle, it brings off the whole door facing on the inside and it'll open. Kick that door right there in the middle and it'll bring off the hinges and the doorknob, according to how much force you use.
Ouch.
They made entry. Officers breached the front door. See, that tells me that camera a while ago, Sheila, I'm sorry if I'm not letting you get a word in.
No, you're good.
But it said a while ago that that camera on the porch shows the interaction between Harless and the state police. I don't know how it can show the interaction. Officers breached the front door and saw Harless armed with a handgun. So he's inside of the house. If they breached the door, he's on the inside.
Right.
According to Royal's affidavit. He raised the gun, Royal wrote, and an officer responded by firing shots from his patrol rifle. I don't care if it's a patrol rifle or his own rifle. You know, in law enforcement, that's a word we like to use because it sounds more official if it's your patrol handgun or it's your service weapon or if it's your department issued gun. It makes no difference. I don't think Harless really cared what he was shot with, whether it was a departmental gun or the man's own personal deer rifle. He was shot and killed. Hobart Buttery, 49, is accused of stealing a weed eater and a heater and a weed eater from a London house the day before the shooting. Now, from the beginning, Sheila and I have asked, what is listed on that search warrant? What is listed? Every item they're looking for that was stolen should be listed on there. I think right here tells you. I think it's a heater and a weed eater. What Mr. Buttery, go ahead, babe.
I said just two things.
It looks like there, don't it? That's what they've listed here. And evidently the Herald Leader is looking at the search warrant that the state police has,
Mm-hmm.
and it says they're looking for a heater and a weed eater. Now, Mr. Buttery, Holbert Buttery, says in a jail interview that all I took was a heater and a weed eater. Well, he's a convict. He's a convicted felon. He's a criminal. He's probably a liar, maybe, in my opinion. Does that mean he lies about everything he says? Sometimes when you don't care to lie about things and all of a sudden you say something, does it really matter to him if he's already convicted of a charge with a felony?
Mm-hmm.
Does it matter if he took 5 bales of hay or 10 bales of hay? Does it matter? Or 6? Does it matter if he took a weed eater, a heater, and a backpack and something else he named?
He said
A blower, maybe?
I think it was a blower, he said.
Does it really matter? It don't matter. Not in value. Not that's going to up it to $10,000. But the more now, instead of saying we killed a man over a weed eater and a small heater.
He called it a baseboard heater.
Baseboard heater. Then if we add more things to it later, does it sound better that, he took a blower too, and he took a backpack. I'm just playing devil's advocate, guys. I don't know this. I know that what these people are saying in the newspaper, they're saying they're getting from the warrant from the Kentucky State Police. Now, I'm going to tell you, the Kentucky State Police, the way they treated Sheila and I when we were on that cliff and on that hill on the 5th day that we were looking for Mr. Joseph Couch, they changed Fred McCoy, and the way they did their press conference and tried to steal the glory or anything. It wasn't about the glory. It was about the line. Straight out pier. I'm just going to call it line. When Scotty Pennington put on Facebook, on X, and he says state troopers have found the body, he lied. Sorry to get off on that story, but I don't really have a lot of trust in the state police anymore. I seen 4 troopers come up on that hill. We pointed out there and said, guys, there's birds out there. They've been here for a week.
Yep.
We've told you and told you. There's something over that hill dead. They're not concerned. They couldn't wait to get back in their car, in that air-conditioned car, and drive off. And I said, we'll be back out here tomorrow morning. We're going to find out what's dead over that hill. And we came back and we found it.
That's, yep.
500 foot from where they held their press conferences. But I'll get off that. I'm sorry, but that's really a delicate point to me, from the commissioner down to Scotty Pennington, the public relations, down to the 4 troopers. 2 of them higher up, guys. 2 of them probably rookies. So just because somebody says something doesn't make it true from the Kentucky State Police. From anybody for that matter, but police arrested Buttery at 7:34 p.m. Sorry, babe. I know she's kicking me here. I stray, but some things that I'm who I am. I don't.
What you see is what you get.
What you see is what you get. And the truth is the truth.
Yeah.
I want to say more, but I won't. Let's stick with this. The nearby Clay County. He was arrested in nearby Clay County a little more than 4 hours earlier, before the shooting occurred. The house belongs to Lowell County Judge Executive David Westerfield, but the stolen items belong to somebody else. A tenant, it says.
Yeah.
Buttery told authorities he took the lawn maintenance tool to a home in Lilly. Court records show Buttery previously used the address of 515 Van Zant as recently as October 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, he says in his jailhouse interview that he doesn't know why they went to this house. He says in his jailhouse interview he knew Mr. Harlison was a nice guy, had nothing to do with it. That's what he says in his jailhouse interview.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. But we know this newspaper article here, according to what they're reading, and that reporter's name is Christopher Leach.
Mm-hmm.
This story was originally published January 3rd, 2025 at 12:30 p.m. Christopher Leach. And it sounds like Christopher Leach is breaking news reporter from Lexington Herald Leader. He joined the newspaper in September 2021 after previously working for Anderson County News. Chris graduated from UK 2018. Sounds like a reputable reporter. Sounds like what he's reporting here is what he has in fact found out And from the search warrant himself, because he says he's reviewing the search warrant. It's an interesting story. Not going to beat a dead horse. Tune in on the next video as a lawyer discusses, gives his opinion on what took place on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be
Unless you got
interesting.
something.
No, I
cut
just
you
feel
off.
sorry for his family here. And it would be nice to know
I feel sorry for all involved.
why they ended up at his house.
Yeah.
That would be interesting to
Sheila, you know what holds the key to that?
the warrant, the search warrant?
Affidavit.
Yeah.
That's the key. How many days is it now?
15,
days?
I think.
How many?
15, I think.
15 days? 15 days, and nobody, and the news people have asked and asked and asked. They have worked diligently, and you would think that they would want to put that affidavit. Why? What is the purpose now of holding something for 15 days? I know there's an investigation. I know there's a death investigation. Is there what's in there that's going to change? What's in there that there's nothing in there that should change from the day it was wrote to now? What takes 15 days? It's the same material in the affidavit. That's not going to change the state police investigation one way or the other. It's either going to say a weed eater and a heater. It's either going to say this and that. It's either going to say a double wide trailer with siding on it, with a porch on the front, with gray underpinning, or it's going to say a single wide silver gray mobile home.
And it should say who the lead detective is in this that was investigating him.
Who was the person that's great, babe? It's going to say who the investigator was. Guys, that's got a lot of bearing to do here. If that investigator that obtained the search warrant, if the same guy signed the affidavit for the search warrant is the same guy that done the shooting, whoa. Is the same guy that led them to the wrong house, is the same guy that was told this was a judge executive's weed eater, we gotta do something. If that's the same guy all along, we got an issue. It's not hard to pinpoint who the problem was. Now, if there's somebody just says, hey, let's go, I got a warrant, need you guys to go with me to serve it. A bunch of officers get together and go. That would be common. Somebody says, well, we usually have a debriefing before, and some departments do. Some departments, you just say, hey, let's go, I got a warrant to serve. And you say, okay, let's go do it.
Yep.
You got anything else, Pop?
No. Thanks for watching, guys. We hope you're staying warm on these cold, wintry days. Please like, subscribe, and share, and we'll catch you on the next one. God bless.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.